Motivations of factitious disorder and malingering. Factitious disorder is where one consciously pretends to be sick or injured in the absence of an obvious external reward. These behaviors can be exaggerating or deceiving reports of symptoms, manipulating medical tests, or even inducing real illness or injury on purpose. Malingering is consciously pretending to be sick or injured with the intent of receiving an external reward, such as avoiding responsibilities or work, financial compensation, or obtaining medication or drugs. While not classified as a mental disorder in the DSM-5, it's still considered a focus of clinical attention with its own V code. But why do these people act sick? In online support forums for people with factitious disorder, most users say their main motivation for acting ill was receiving affection, care, and attention. Many even described the attention they received as insatiable, that the more they got it, the more they craved. The theory that explains this is operant conditioning. Acting sick is rewarded with attention, care, and sympathy, making them want to act sick more often, and eventually turning into factitious disorder. This theory provides insight into potential treatments for factitious disorder such as CBT, but everyone responds to operant conditioning, and most people like attention and care, so why doesn't everyone develop factitious disorder? Many users of online forums reported growing up with various forms of child abuse and also experiencing many other problems in their families. Some even consciously recognized that their case of factitious disorder was a way of coping with their trauma. The behaviors of someone with factitious disorder sometimes involve injuring oneself with cuts and bruises. Self-harm has been discovered to be an unhealthy coping mechanism, so maybe factitious disorder is a version of this. One could use similar treatments for factitious disorder that are used for those with self-harm, but many of those with factitious disorder do not participate in these harmful behaviors. Users on the forum also reported that being sick had become part of their identity. For some, it was even to the point that not being in the sick role felt uncomfortable. This sounds like supplication, a strategy of self-presentation where one advertises their weakness or dependence, often to incite pity or sympathy. This could explain many cases of factitious disorder, but it doesn't provide any direction for treatment. The motives of malingering may seem obvious. People who malinger are trying to receive an external reward, right? But sometimes it may not be that simple. Evidence shows that when external reward is increased, malingerers report more and more intense symptoms. This shows that malingering may also be learnt through operant conditioning. Research has shown that malingering is often used as an unhealthy coping mechanism for extreme life stresses. The malingerer sees no other alternative to reach their goal, whether it is to pay for rent that week or avoid a crime sentence, than to act ill. But wait, if the motives behind malingering aren't just simply external rewards, then how can we distinguish between malingering and factitious disorder? Well, maybe we can't. Some researchers believe that these aren't separate conditions, but that malingering and factitious disorder exist on a continuum. Their models help explain the often unclear motivations behind these conditions, but also make research and diagnosis much more complicated.